everybody. Welcome to Positive Impact. My name is Joy Elewon, and I am your host for today. Positive Impact is a program where we talk about social issues that affect the family and the society generally. We have professionals come in to share their perspectives, and they also prefer solution. Today we're going to look at single parenting and how it works in this part of the country. I have a special guest. She's Mrs. Christiana Tamuno Baraboye Ede. She is a public servant. She's a graduate of management from the University of Port Harcourt. She's also a mom with 2 kids. We'll get to see her when we come back. Don't go away. Welcome back. This is Positive Impact, and today we're looking at single parenting in this part of the world. I am your host, Joy Elewon. I have this special guest I told you earlier. She is Mrs. Christiana Ede. She's a public servant, and she's here to do justice to this topic. You're welcome, madam.
Thank you for having me in your studio.
Now, we have single parents in our society, in every part of the world, and they go through challenges and taking care of the kids, especially those who have kids. So today I would like you to tell us who is a single parent and what is single parenting all about?
Thank you for that question. From my own understanding, a single parent is either a man or a woman who has the responsibility of bringing up a child solely, okay, without the help from either partner.
Yeah. Okay, so that's single parenting. Now, that's also who a single parent is. Now, we know that some of these cases, they might be divorced, widowers or widows. So what are the main causes of single parenting, and why is it common in Nigeria?
There are so many causes of single parenting. It could be as a result of divorce,
yes,
or separation, or the loss of a spouse.
Yes.
It could also be as a result of domestic violence.
Exactly.
Yes. So there are a wide range of issues that could result in a man or a woman becoming a single parent.
Okay.
And I wouldn't say it's
common
in Nigeria alone. It's all over the world.
Okay.
You find a lot of, women, men becoming single parents,
okay,
from a lot of vices and circumstances. So it's not peculiar to Nigeria alone. It cuts across the globe.
Yeah. So do we also consider, for example, I'll say a child of 13, 15 years old having a child, a single parent also?
Wow. No.
Why?
Because a child of 13 is a child. Mm-hmm. She doesn't have any means of survival. She's still dependent on her parents.
Okay.
You understand? She's not married.
Okay.
She finds herself in that circumstances, probably out of rape,
yeah,
or peer pressure.
Okay.
There are so many circumstances that could result in an underaged child,
yeah,
girl, becoming pregnant. So I don't see her as a single parent, no.
Okay. How about in areas where they marry them that early, at that age, and she becomes, maybe, she's no more in the marriage, or she loses the spouse. Is she considered single parent?
At that age,
they marry that age,
very
15
early.
years and all that, yeah.
But in those days, you could say our parents got married very early.
Okay.
And in certain religion, such is allowed.
Yeah, so we consider them single parent.
I wouldn't say that, because most of them are still underage.
Okay, from your own perspective.
Yeah, so they go back to their parents.
Yeah.
They go back to their parents.
Okay, so how does the single parenting affect the society? This society where we are in, how does it affect the society as a single parent?
Does it really affect the society? Does it? Whether single or married or whatever, it doesn't. For me, everything boils down to you, the parents. How do you bring up your kids? We've seen instances of, children with both parents still living terrible lives, involving drugs and social vices. And we've also seen children of single parents doing extremely well. So I don't think single parenting has any negative impact on the society.
Okay.
No, it doesn't.
Because most people will say that one, as a single parent, for example, say the parents are separated.
Okay.
As a single parent, the child is tend to be more exposed to the world because, for example, he comes to you and tells you, I'm going to my dad's, and he doesn't go there, he's going to his friends. They form a gang and, begin to do all kinds of things. People look at it that way.
Okay.
They begin to tell lies here and there, and because they're not together, they take advantage of that situation. Now, involving in, things that are not good for the society.
Like I will tell you again, I don't think it's as a result of
separation
that a child becomes wayward. No.
Okay.
It happens both ways. I am a single mother.
Okay.
By virtue of the demise of my husband. And I have two lovely girls that I'm bringing up to the best of my ability.
So sorry to hear that.
Thank you so much. So I don't think because I am single, my kids will turn out wayward. No. It boils down to how do you bring up your children.
Okay. So now, from your perspective, you believe it does not affect the society negatively, but positively, like any other family.
Like any other, yes.
Yeah. So what are the effects of being raised by the single parents? It's kind of similar, but what are the effects? If you have positive effects, negative effects, what are the effects?
Talking from experience, what I have observed is our kids that are raised by single parents, they need a lot of support, encouragement, love. Yes. They tend to be, what do I call it? They tend to lack self-confidence sometimes.
Okay, because one parent is not there.
Yes, especially when they're amongst their peers. And their peers, they talk about their father or their mother. And you see this inferiority complex coming. But if you spend time with your kids and talk to them and encourage them and tell them how strong and beautiful they are, it doesn't affect them negatively. Yes. In fact, you kind of encourage them to be very, very independent.
What would you say, or what would you advise would be a better way to handle such situation? Somebody is depressed, frustrated, and is blaming the children. What would you say?
Love.
To show
we need to show love. We don't have love again. We need to support each other. Being a single mother is not a taboo. It's not a stigma. People need to show love to them, encourage them. They just need a support system.
To the single parent or to the children?
Both. Yes, both. More especially on the parents, the mother or the father. They need a support system. When you have a support system, the pressure on you, you tend to be able to manage it and you don't throw it on your kids. So single mothers, single fathers, they need support from family members, from loved ones, from the church, from everywhere. They need to be supported.
Yeah, and we know of, for example, some single parents, when they were married, like they get, you have two incomes, from the father, from the mother, and when one is no more there, it's difficult for the single parent to take care of the children. Now let's look at a single parent whose husband or whose wife is well-to-do and doesn't take care of the children, even when they are separated. You know, most of them go through depression, frustration when they know your dad or your mom can afford this and they're not helping out. And, you know, the woman is suffering. Let's just focus on the woman now. You know, the woman is suffering on her own. So what can she do?
There are lots of cases like that.
Okay.
I see the man as, I mean, why would a man do that to his own kids? Whatever reason, whatever hatred you have for your wife,
Exactly.
you shouldn't transfer it. They're your kids.
They're kids.
Your blood and flesh. You brought them into this world. Why would you not take care of them because of your wife?
Yeah.
Why? Why? When you're young, you're strong. You neglect your children. When you're old and weak, is that when you start looking for them? I mean, it doesn't, it doesn't augur well. The effect it has on the woman, most women who are married to wealthy men, I've realized that most of them, either from the man or from they themselves, they end up not doing anything to, be independent.
Okay.
They rely solely on their spouse. And when that spouse is no longer there or the money is not forthcoming, it becomes a problem.
Okay.
Yes, it does become a problem. And going by the economic situation in Nigeria, globally, you find out that most people are just for themselves and their families. The support system we single parents used to have before, it's diminishing drastically. The economy is not helping matters. People are just trying to survive. So it puts more pressure on the woman in trying to make sure she takes care of her child and herself.
Okay, I know while we're talking, we've mentioned, a couple of effects this could have, but we go deeper into it right now, talking about effects on the children now raised by single parents. What do they go through? What effects does it have on them? It could be psychological, it could be social, we just mentioned financial,
I'll use my kids as a reference point.
Okay.
When they lost their father, I know my first daughter was very close to her father.
How long ago was that?
That was 5 years ago.
Okay.
And when she got into secondary school, I noticed she was not friendly. She was not friendly with her classmates. She was not forthcoming. She was always by her side. So when she comes back home for holiday, I will always talk to her. The other day, your classmate was calling you. You didn't answer her. What happened? She won't say anything. So I kept talking to her. I said, no, that's not the way to do it. Be friendly. Be friendly. Make friends. They're your classmates. You don't need to be frowning your face as if somebody has angered you. That's not the way to, go about life. And over time, I have seen a great improvement. She's more social now, very social now in school, and I'm happy about it. And that is as a result of my own encouragement towards her, showing her love also. One thing I try to do is, there's something that her father used to do when he was alive. He takes them out all the time. So I try to do that also, And another thing I do to my kids is I don't pretend where they are. If I don't have, I tell them I don't have. If they want something and I can't afford it, I tell them I don't have money. You have to manage what you have. And they have come to understand that if their mom has, she does it for them. And if she doesn't have, they understand. They don't put me under pressure.
Okay.
Yes.
That's very good. We'll take a short break. Viewers, we'll be right back. Don't go away. Welcome back, viewers. This is Positive Impact with Joy, and my guest still remains Mrs. Christina Ede. We're talking about single parenting. Welcome again to the show.
Thank you.
Yes, before we went on break, you were talking about how the single parenting situation affected your daughter when your husband passed away. I'm so sorry to hear that. So Are there other, effects it had on her or your son? That's absence of their dad?
No, I do not know that. None that I observed. Just the lack of confidence initially.
Okay.
Initially, she had this phobia for crowd. She could not really be herself in the midst of. But we're working on it, and she has greatly improved.
Okay.
Apart
How
from
old is she
that,
now?
she's 12.
Oh, okay.
She's 12. Yes.
Still. So how did that affect you? Your life turning around. Now it's just you handling the kids, the house, things you used to do together. Absence of a man in the family in your life. So how did it affect you?
It did, though, greatly. It affected me in so many ways. It wasn't like he was sick or whatever. It was just a sudden thing. So I wasn't prepared for it.
Yeah.
And funny enough, it was a day to my birthday. So I was actually preparing for my birthday when it happened. So, well, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy.
Okay.
It wasn't easy. And God has been faithful. God has been faithful.
But you were working then when you were married?
Yes, I was working.
So it was easy for you to continue working?
Quite easy. It was. I was working with Rivers Transport Company.
Okay.
I was working. In fact, my husband passed on 2017, 2019. Luckily for me, I was promoted to level 14 in my office.
Okay.
By 2020, my office was shut down. My office was shut down, and since then, I've been out of job, and it has not been easy. I mean, running the home and training the kids.
In school, yeah.
It is not easy for both parents. It is not easy, and how much more for a single parent?
Yeah.
It is hard.
Yeah.
It is hard.
No, it's even good that you had something doing. You experienced working. And a lot of women out there who have lost their loved ones, or whose husband just left them abruptly like that. Some have never worked before.
Yes.
They stay home mom. So it's so difficult to even start. They don't even know what to do and how to go about it, who to talk to. They just feel so alone. So it's very good for women to do something for themselves, whether your husband is very rich or not. What do you say to that? What do you think? Do you share that
I'm in
perspective?
total agreement with you. In fact, I tell women, one thing I've come to realize from the period my husband passed away and from when I lost my job, I tell people, I said, look, have multiple streams of income. It's not easy, or even those the multiple stream. I mean, you still need money to start them, but don't wait until you're you're retired before you start thinking of what to do. So that was one of the issues I had, because I'd worked throughout my life. I started working from a very young age, and I kept telling myself I'll start up something. I was okay. My job was my bills. So when the job suddenly stopped, I didn't know where to start from.
Okay.
It was difficult, but family, friends came through for me, and I started something. I started something. So I'll advise women out there, and it's the men too. Most problems women have are from the men. Some men don't even want their wives to do anything.
Yeah.
And some women also cannot keep a business. I've heard series of stories where the man keeps setting up his wife, and the business never works. Something happens to the money and they're back to square one. Women should be independent.
Why can't they keep a business? Is it that they spend the money on themselves or on frivolous things?
Sometimes it's would I say social vices.
Okay.
The kind of friends you keep.
Okay.
A married woman should be very careful with the kind of friends she keeps, and she should know where she's coming from and where she's going to. Because your friend wears gold of 1 million naira does not mean you have to do that too. So you find out that when they start up, your husband starts up a business for you, money starts coming in. That's when you want to buy all the trending clothes. You want to belong to this group, you want to belong to this club, you want to belong to the association of rich married women.
Okay.
You know, such lifestyle is difficult to maintain.
Yeah.
So
you hang your bag where your hand is.
cut your coat according to your size.
That's what they say. Okay, so let's go back to how can a single parent raise a child successfully? A single parent. I know from the beginning you've been telling me how you have successfully raised your children. Now we're looking at it generally with all the challenges surrounding the single parent. Can they successfully raise children in this society?
100%.
Okay.
100%. We have so many success stories.
Okay.
My friend, I call her my madam. She's a retired PAMSEC. We don't want to mention her name. She has 5 kids, all doing well. They're all doing well. None of them can be seen to be misbehaving outside. So, I mean, the foundation matters a lot. I know, God willing, you know, a child that will be bad. Some people say that, and a child that will be good. But you as a parent, you have a role to play.
Yeah.
There are some things you don't tolerate from your kids. You start from an early age, you know, to put them in the right path so that they don't derail. With social media now, I tell you, a lot of things are happening. Kids are indulged in so many evil.
Yes.
And the parents never,
Yes.
they never know. Somebody was telling me some time ago, a boy that came to, came for the halls in our house. And every time that child would be in his room, you know, with phone.
Okay.
He didn't know what that child was doing. It was one day they discovered the child was watching porn. A boy of 10 years old. The parents didn't know. They didn't know. So you have to be careful what you expose your kids to.
Yeah.
Don't say, it's a free world, now allow them, they are kids. No, they're no longer kids. As early as 5 years, they already know things that you don't even know. And they have a way of hiding things from their parents. So you have to be very, very observant. Very, very observant. Sometimes I go to my daughter's, she has a diary. She has a diary, you know, kids, where she writes down like experiences. And
Every day?
Yes, she does.
Yeah,
She does that. From time to time, she writes it down. So sometimes I go, I read it. I don't say anything. When I read, I don't say anything. I allow that moment pass.
Does she see you when you read it?
No, she doesn't.
Okay.
I don't allow her.
Yeah,
No.
she'll be
So
offended.
later, I'll bring up what I read as if I didn't read it. I'm not scolding her. I just bring it up and we talk about it and I advise her.
Okay.
You know, I don't tell her I've read what she wrote. If I do that, she'll hide it.
Things from you also.
So I try to make my daughter feel free with me so that she can talk about things. She doesn't need to hide anything. I tell her, look, I'm the best person that you can tell
Best
your
friend.
problem.
Yeah.
I'm your best friend. Don't hide anything from me. And, you know, it is working.
Yeah.
It is working.
Yeah, nice. You've been very, very, strong, and you've stood by your kids to bring them up this way. I hope a lot of people out there can say the same thing. And the next question will be going on the financial aspect, which we have touched a little bit.
Okay.
Trying to see, it's easier said than done, like we're talking about it, but there are people out there who still have difficulty taking care of their kids, even with their husbands present.
Okay, yeah.
And now they're alone, they have so much difficulty because they're not meeting up their finances, or they're not working, or they can't even think. Oh, some will say, oh, she killed her husband. Oh, she did this. You know, so that stigma, they don't even, they are shy. They shy away How do you encourage them to be strong, bold, confident? Some feel, maybe the husband, before he left, keeps telling them how ugly they are, good for nothing, you can't do anything. So they lost their self-esteem already. Now they can't even go out. Before somebody says something, oh, I'm not good enough, already inside of them. So what are you going to say to those?
My advice to such parents is your happiness lies in you. You can decide who you want to be. Nobody owns your life. You own your life. And you have the power to change your life. You're not on earth to please anybody, because nobody can be pleased. You're on earth to do what you feel is best for you and your kids. If they turn out right, the glory goes to you. If they turn out bad, it comes back to you.
Yeah.
So, keep aside what you have gone through and look up to where you want to be. Don't allow anything distract you.
Okay. What is your perspective on the stigmatization on single parents?
I'll be honest with you. When a couple of years back, like more than 10 years ago, I used to have this neighbor of mine. Her husband was based abroad, and she was the only one in Nigeria, and we were very good neighbors, but she was very friendly. But at a point, she was coming to my house at odd hours, I want to do, I'll make dinner for her, we'll all eat together. Then I began to notice that my husband was becoming too friendly with her. Innocently, could be, yes, I knew it was innocent, but I wasn't comfortable.
Okay.
I wasn't comfortable. She's married, and no matter how innocent your intentions are, people outside are going to read meanings into it.
Yeah.
Where am I going to? As a single mother, a lot of stigmatization. People are not comfortable with you. It happens everywhere. I've experienced it. In fact, I have some friends, family friends, who I was very good with when my husband was alive, but today, they don't even call me.
Yeah.
They don't call me. I've had to call one or two of them. I said, what happened now? Now, wow. They apologize, no vex, we don't want trouble. That's what they told me, yes.
Meaning what?
Because if a man comes closer to a single mother, people will start feeling
there's something
going on,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Or the wife too, and most men
yes.
don't want problem in their homes.
Yeah.
Yes. So you find out that even your husband's friends, they don't come close to you again. They relate to you from a distance. I'm okay with that. I understand, because if I were in their wife's shoe, I would also react that way. So that is one of the problems single parents are going through, especially the women.
Okay.
Yes, especially the women. It's not easy. You can't even in the church. You have to be careful how you talk to a married man.
Okay.
You have to be careful. If the wife does not have, if she doesn't feel there is anything to be afraid of, people around will put it in her head that you have to be careful, or just not that Mrs. Zede is going close to your husband.
Yeah, yeah.
There in the church, outside the church, anywhere you go to, it's there. Even in the family, it's there. It's terrible. It's terrible.
Wow, see what single parents go through. Well, now, with everything we have said today, I know that, somebody watching who is going through one challenge or the other must have picked something, to help herself or himself. So, as we're coming closer to the end of this program, I would like you to speak to someone out there who is still struggling as a single parent with challenges, with stigma in the family, and also the family members. Just give them a word or two on how to deal with single parents and how single parents, well, to encourage them also to be, strong and up and doing.
To the woman out there who is a single mother, especially the women, I would advise you, be focused. Look at where you're coming from, look at where you're going to, set your priorities right. Do not allow anything distract you from your end point. Be confident of who you are. Being single does not make you a lesser woman in any way. It doesn't. It's even enough reason for you to excel in life so that you can have a reason for your children to say, that is my mom. I am proud that she is my mom. So every single mother, look up to God, hold him firmly, and believe that everything is going to be okay.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Eddie, for coming and sharing your story and
My
also,
pleasure.
impacting us and our viewers. And I know that people are touched right now and will do something as in changing their own lives and also encouraging single parents out there. And viewers, I hope you have been impacted because I have been and have learned a few things today that I didn't know before. And please keep supporting single parents. And single parents, be strong, be focused, and take care of yourself. We love you. Do not forget to like, subscribe to EdSound TV. We'll see you again next week, same time, same station. Goodbye and God bless.
Can anybody out there hear me? Hear me?